and Liam Halligan, economist and Telegraph columnist, who wrote a book on Brexit called Clean Brexit. Let me start with you, Liam. I mean, clean Brexit. You said all along it would be clean, it would be straightforward, it would be simple. It's been anything but that. So in a sense, your view has been both incorrect and untrue.
Well, all I can do is write the book. You know, I'm just a guy with a laptop. I'm not sitting in the House of Commons. And, you know, to paraphrase Oscar Wilde, to lose one Brexit secretary might be misfortunate, but to lose two is carelessness. I agree with the comments I previously heard. I do think the Prime Minister has battled and she put up a good show in the House of Commons, 2.5 hours of pretty punishing questioning, and she's shown a lot of resilience. But in the end, the way she's been negotiating this Brexit, I think, has been completely irrational. She's given many, many speeches to the world, to people here in the UK hearing them, the diplomats all over the place, and yet she's been doing a completely different negotiation in secret, which has resulted in the Chequers deal, which was disastrous, and this deal with the European Union, which is even more disastrous in the sense that it is only a sort of exercise in fiction. It's never going to get through the House of Commons. And I say that with a huge amount of regret. The reason I wrote Clean Brexit with a guy called Jerry Lyons, another person of mixed Anglo-Irish heritage like me, is that we felt the simplest way to get a smooth Brexit that would help the UK and the other EU 27 countries, particularly the Republic of Ireland, which is, I totally understand, has got a lot on the line here and the most to lose, would be if we simply left the single market and the customs union. I'm afraid to say, as a result of this so-called deal, and we really should stop calling it a deal. It isn't a deal because it's almost certain it's not going to fly. As a result of this document that's been published, and you've seen the reaction in the House of Commons, and the questioning in the previous part of the show really pointed towards what I'm about to say, the likelihood of no deal is now the most likely outcome, I'm afraid. And I say with regret, the country that will suffer most under no deal, and I don't want this to happen, is, apart from the UK, the Republic of Ireland. 4/5 of the Republic's exports use Britain as a land bridge. That's the truth. And I'm afraid that I do think this is entirely the fault of British politicians that we're in such a mess. But I do think, with all respect, that the Taoiseach has overplayed his hand now, and his ultra-maximalist, legalistic approach to the Irish border, which can be solved with existing technology, has now meant that the most likely outcome, unfortunately, is no deal, and that is not in the interests of the economy of the Republic of Ireland. Okay, well, in April 2017, Niall Cody, and I'm sure you all know who Niall Cody is, said it was Enda Kenny was Taoiseach, I grant you that, rather than Leo Varadkar, said that there's no need for any additional infrastructure on the Irish border. And his equivalent here in the UK, John Thompson, who runs HMRC, said exactly the same thing. And I read the report that Fintan is referring to, but I was also watching the Northern Ireland Select Committee, Fintan, earlier this week, when the Northern Ireland Select Committee heard from a guy called Lars Coulson, who's probably the foremost customs expert anywhere in the world. He was the guy that was responsible for the Swedish-Norwegian border, and now he's an international consultant. And with only 3 people in the audience, only 3 people, while the world's press was camped outside Westminster hearing about all this Brexit meltdown, Lars Coulson told the Northern Ireland Select Committee that we can solve these Irish border issues, we can have a free trade agreement between the UK and the EU, which of course includes the Republic of Ireland, using existing technology.
So it's never been done anywhere in the world. You can't point to a single example of it anywhere in the world.
No one is saying
now.
No, if you let me finish.
There was plenty of time to actually.
No one is saying that there aren't sensitivities on this border. I totally accept that and understand that as much as anyone watching this show. But I would say that the technological problems that are on this border have been blown up out of all proportion in order to keep the United Kingdom in the
Liam,
customs
brief
union.
response, and then I'm going to bring in Guido.
Because in
Liam,
the customs
let
union,
Fintan come back
the United Kingdom pays billions of pounds a year to Brussels.
Liam Halligan, you were nodding there, talking about the vote of no confidence in Theresa May.
No, I agree. When I heard about the 5 o'clock press conference, after, as I said, a pretty feisty and impressive display at the dispatch box of the House of Commons earlier in the afternoon, I thought it was because the letters had got to a level where they were going to trigger a vote of no confidence. And I was surprised. I think if there is a vote of no confidence, she may actually hang on, and under the arcane rules, that means there can't be another vote of no confidence in her for a year. So it could kind of strengthen her. On the other hand, even if the Brexiteers don't get to the level that they need to remove her, a show of force, if they have 80 or 90 votes, means it's then arithmetically impossible for her to get this deal through the House of Commons.